All right, guys, welcome back to Module 0. In this video, I want to talk to you guys about the opposite of what we just talked about, which is how you can guarantee that you're going to fail not only in this program, but pretty much in life, okay? Now, I'm not a life coach. I'm not here to coach you about your life, but I am here to get you results, okay? And so these videos, I'm going to say this again in this video, this module and all these videos are extremely important. In fact, they are more important than every single other video or module in this entire program. Yes, it's more important than the tactical stuff, than the big picture stuff. This is much more important, okay? So you need to watch every one of these videos like 3 times, and you need to watch every second of every one of these videos. Okay, we can see on our side of the business, we can see, you know, how long you guys are watching these videos for. If we come back and we're like, this guy watched 10 seconds of this video, okay, that does not count. You need to watch the whole thing, okay? You will not succeed if you do not watch this entire video. I can guarantee you that, okay? All right, so I want to start by asking you guys a question. What the hell is that? That is, if you don't know, that is a Bug Zapper, okay? Now, we don't see those a lot down here in Southern California, but I know in the Midwest and the South, you guys have a lot of those because you have a lot of mosquitoes, okay? And basically, if you don't know what that thing does, is it's a bright light and then a bug flies into it. And you kind of see like the electrocution marks right there, like a bug would fly into that and get zapped and then explode and die, okay? That's basically what it is. And I have a question for you guys. Why do moths or mosquitoes, why do they fly into this thing? Because they're really fucking stupid, that's why. They're really stupid, okay? Because they fly into this thing, even though they see like a bunch of their mosquito and moth friends are dead, right? At the bottom of this thing. They're like, oh, there's Rick, you know? Rick was stupid and Rick flew into this light here. Huh, like, maybe I should do that too, right? And they fly into the light anyway, okay? So my point is they're very stupid and they do not look at the obvious signs that they're going to die, in this case, and they're going to fail, and they just do what they want to do. So now I want to ask you a question. Are you a Mothman? Are you being a Mothman? Are you doing what you want even though you know it will lead to you failing? Like, and don't be like, no, I'm not. Like, be honest. Are you doing that right now? And it's okay if you are, but we need to change that, right? Are there clear signs of evidence with the habits that you have right now that are going to lead you and have led millions of people to failing life, yet you're still using and doing those habits on a daily basis? Like if you're sleeping into 11, guess what? Most people who are failures sleep into 11. So if you want to continue being a failure, sleep into 11. And I love these young entrepreneurs. And I know because I'm a young entrepreneur, but I love some of these young entrepreneurs. They're like 18 and they're like, I can just, I can stay up all night and work. I'm like, yeah, that's true. But the problem is what time does business happen? Happens like, 8 to 6 during the day. Like, well, I run an online business. I'm like, yeah, I know, but you still can't get on the phone with anybody if you need help. Like, it just slows things down, okay? So that's just an example. But is there clear signs that the habits that you have are going to lead you to failure and have led millions of other people to failing as well? Okay, you need to look at those signs. Are you following your quote-unquote natural instincts instead of being disciplined? And I'll talk about what that means. I do not mean your natural instinct to drink water, okay? You need to follow that natural instinct, okay? And that's why natural is kind of in quotes because, again, I don't mean your actual natural instincts. I mean the instincts that we've developed that we call natural, okay? And they are kind of natural. So let me give you an example of that. Like if you cannot go 5 seconds without checking Instagram, that is not a natural instinct. Like yes, the dopamine rush in your head, that's a natural thing to happen, but you checking Instagram every 5 minutes is not natural, and so you need to get off of fucking Instagram, okay? Excuse my language. You need to get off of Instagram, okay? And by the way, if I know I'm cursing, I apologize if it's not your thing. Most of this course, I will not be cursing. David does not curse really at all. I just get a little excited sometimes. All right, so I will do my best. Okay, I'll do my best. If it's not your cup of tea, I totally understand. Okay, so are you being a Mothman? Yes or no? Okay, like honestly, you got to answer this question honestly. Okay. So the question is, and by the way, we're all being Mothman to some point, right? But how do we avoid these Bug Zappers? Okay, how do we avoid ending up like the mosquito here that's going to fly into this thing and explode? And I know this is morbid, and I apologize, but it's a good analogy. Okay, what do we do to avoid these things? Well, the first thing you got to understand is there's two types of bug zappers. The first one are the obvious and the explosive bug zappers. And these are things that we look at, we can easily identify that can have a huge immediate negative impact and are super, super obvious right in front of our face. Whether we want to admit it or not, it's like a super obvious problem. Okay, the second type of bug zapper is the still pretty obvious, because honestly a lot of these are obvious. Some of them are a little bit harder to see than others, so maybe obvious is not the best word, but not as obvious as the first kind, but still usually pretty easy to find, but a lot slower. And so we don't really consider these as big a threat as the first one, even though in my opinion they're worse. Okay, and I'll explain what that is in a second. But the second one is patterns of behavior that slowly suck the life out of you and your business. We allow them to because it takes time, right? The first one, again, it's explosive. It happens overnight, potentially. But these ones, they take time, okay? Okay, so let me give you guys some examples of the explosive ones. So the examples here is if you're addicted to drugs and alcohol, okay? If you cannot go a day without getting drunk, like you clearly have a problem, okay? Drunk driving, that's an explosive bug zapper. Do not do that, okay? Staying in an abusive relationship, okay? And that goes for both sides too, not just the person that's being abused, but the abuser and the abusee, okay? Because it's not going to end well for anybody. It's just not, okay? And then a more business-related idea here is selling a morally bad product, something that is a scam or something that's not, that you're not proud to put your name on, okay? So if you're doing any of these things, you need to immediately remove them from your life completely, okay, before continuing with this course. In fact, if you're like, crap, like I drink every day, like and not drink, like, you know, even if you have a sip of alcohol every day, that is a problem, but it's not as big as a problem, obviously, if you're getting drunk every day. Two different things, right? So if you're getting drunk every day, okay, you need to stop this course immediately, and you need to stop getting drunk every day before you continue. And the reason why is because usually these explosive bug zappers get worse with money. Okay, if you give someone who is addicted to meth and you give them $1,000 a day, $30,000 a month in income, what do you think that they're going to do? They're going to buy more meth, okay? So giving these people more money is not going to help them, okay? Now, again, the good thing about these guys is they're usually pretty easy to find out. You know, if you're like, man, I do drugs every day, that's probably not a good thing, okay? You probably need to cut that out immediately and, again, remove those before you continue, okay? Because it's only going to slow you down or make it worse when you are successful, okay? And I don't have all of them listed here, obviously. I think it's pretty obvious to look at your behavior and be like, okay, this is just not going to end well. Okay, this is just not going to end well in potentially a short amount of time. Okay? So that's an explosive bug zapper. Okay, now the slow bug zapper. So first of all, in my opinion, these are way more deadly than the explosive ones. And the reason why is because they affect pretty much everybody. Okay, it says they affect way more people. They pretty much affect everybody. And instead of leading to like this explosive death, they lead to a life of mediocrity, a life of being average, which in some cases may even be worse than the explosive death because, you know, at least you go out with a bang. Okay, that's kind of, I don't know, but you get what I'm saying, right? Okay, this can lead you to a life of average. Nobody wants to be average. Okay, so some examples of this stuff is like not working out every day, okay, eating unhealthy, failing to work on your business, okay, procrastination. Okay, these are all things that we know if you never work out, we know that's a bad thing, right? We're like, yeah, that's probably need to work out. But you know what? It really does not affect us. It takes us a while, some of us more than others, but it takes us a while to gain weight, right? It's not like we don't work out and then the next day we're obese. Okay, that's not what happens. Okay? Takes us a while. Okay, eating unhealthy, right? Dude, everybody splurges once in a while. I've mentioned this several times on coaching calls and coach and trainings with people. Is right down the street from my office. I'm literally looking at it right now. Is my favorite restaurant, this barbecue place called Lucille's, and they make, oh my God, if you guys are here in Southern California, you guys have to go there. They make this amazing baby back ribs, and oh my, everything there is amazing. It's a little expensive, but it's amazing. And my point is if I ate that every day, I'd be pretty unhealthy, okay? And I probably could, okay? But that would be a slow bug zapper because, again, I'm not going to eat there. Eating there once is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But when it becomes a habit, that it slowly sucks the life out of you and your business and makes you unsuccessful, okay? Failing to work on your business, that one's pretty obvious, okay? But again, you take a day off, no big deal, right? Things happen. All of a sudden you take a bunch of days off, and now what, right? Now, this is what I figured out, and this really applies to me, this third bullet point here, but you guys, as you guys start becoming more and more successful, I think you guys will realize this truly is what it is about, which you're going to spend the rest of your life trying to beat these, okay? There's a slow bug zapper like at every corner, okay? At every freaking corner. It's ridiculous, okay? And to me, this is the true challenge of life, okay? Like, you guys are like making money so hard. Like, no, there's a million tactics on how to make money, okay? There's a million ways to make money. But what's the challenging part is actually being disciplined in doing those things, right? It's not the tactic itself. And then my last thing here, and this applies to everybody, but this quote that I have is going to apply specifically to men here. And then at that point, we'll apply it to everybody. Okay, so I have this saying that I tell a lot of my guy friends. I say, chase greatness, not women, not a check, and not celebrity. Okay, and the reason why I say that is because if you think of anybody who's great, you think of like Michael Jordan, right? In my opinion, the greatest basketball player of all time. I'd say most people would probably agree with me, right? Michael Jordan, he's phenomenally great. Okay, everybody knows that. Do you think Michael Jordan has any issues making money? Like, no, dude's a billionaire. Like, I mean, when you become that great at something, people want to give you money, right? They're like, dude, let's give you some money. Okay, you need that money. Okay. Do you think Michael Jordan has had any trouble getting, girls to like him, or getting people to like him in general, not just girls, but guys, or whatever you guys are into, whatever, okay, girls or guys to like him? Like, no, okay, friends or romantically, no, okay, because everybody wants to be around somebody that's great, okay? So if you chase greatness, everything else will come in abundance, but if you chase the other things, you only get one of them if you're lucky. So chase greatness, okay, and chasing greatness is focusing on stuff like this, okay? All right. So now I want to talk about the deadliest bug zapper. So we've covered the difference between the explosive bug zapper and then the slow bug zapper. Now I want to talk about the number one deadliest bug zapper. I want to see real quick, I'm going to give you guys a second here to guess what you guys think it is. Okay? Going once, going twice. All right. So let's see if you're correct. The deadliest bug zapper of them all is lack of focus. Okay? Now focus, what is that? That's being able to sit down without distractions for an extended period of time and get something done. Okay, and if you lack that, you're unable to sit down, you're unable to watch these videos without skipping and skimming. And if that's you, then I guarantee you're gonna fail. Like, if you've watched these first couple videos in this module and like you've had to skip around or like skip to like the next video, now you're just rewatching this one because you want to go through the whole thing. Like, no, you need to watch this in chronological order without skimming through, taking notes, the whole thing. Like, if you cannot sit down and watch a freaking 20-minute video, there's something wrong with you. Okay, and don't worry, I'm there too. Sometimes it's hard for me to do that too. It's not just you, but you need to realize it's a problem and you need to work on your focus. Okay, like if you're sitting right now and you've had the urge to check your email, check your social media, that's a problem. And trust me, I've had it too, so I know it's definitely a problem. Okay, now this is true here. The most successful people I know are literally able to sit in a room for 12 hours and do one thing without any distractions. Okay, like they don't take a phone call, they don't check their email, they just work on one thing for 12 hours. Nobody talks to them. They just do one thing for 12 hours. That's it. And these people are like worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay? It's not rocket science though, because when you do one thing, you do that thing so well that nobody can compete with you. And then you get so much done in one day, nobody can compete with you. Okay? So lack of focus will kill you. If you're like thinking about it, you're like, wow, I have lack of focus, like you need to fix that. You need to be able to sit down, shut off your distractions, and focus. Okay? So how do we beat these bug zappers? Okay, first of all I want to ask you guys a question. Have you guys ever seen the show like Live PD or like Cops? Okay? And if you guys haven't, okay, or if you have, I want to take you guys through a regular scene on that show. So usually, by the way, if you don't know what it is, it's they have cameramen that follow around like actual cops. That's all it is, okay? And they're all in different areas, but they're all the same thing, okay? They're in the cop car and they see some guy who's swerving around. They're like, this guy's probably drunk driving, so they pull him over. And let's say they pull him over and the cop gets out and he can clearly smell alcohol, right? And so like, please get out of the car. And so they go and what, when they get out of the car, what's the first thing the cop does? The cop's going to pat him down, make sure they don't have a weapon, right? So they pat him down and boom, they check his pockets. And what do they find? Some drugs, right? They find like a little thing of cocaine or something, right? And what does the cop ask? The cop says, sir, what is this? Like, you just told me you were not intoxicated, you don't have any drugs. Why do you have cocaine on you? And without failure, what does that person say every single time, like 99% of the time, to the cop? It's not mine. It's not mine. I know you just found it in my pocket, but it's not mine. I don't know how that got there. It's not mine. Like sometimes they throw it out, like there's video evidence of them throwing out the window the cocaine, right? And the cop walks over and is like, why did you just throw this out the window? It's not mine. I don't know how that got there. It's not mine. Okay. So then the cop's like, okay. All right. And then they detain them. So they put them in handcuffs. Like, this person's already got cocaine. And they're like, now they have reasonable cause to search the vehicle, right? So they go and they search the vehicle, right? And they're like, do you have anything illegal or weapons or anything in this car? And they're like, no, right? And they search the vehicle. Everything looks good. And then they get to the trunk, right? And like some of these people, like literally, they have like duffel bags and duffel bags of like drugs. Like, I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, I mean, it's like, it's crazy, okay? And so they pull out like three or four duffel bags of cocaine. I mean, like enough to go to jail for like 100 years, like ridiculous amounts, right? And they're like, I thought you said you didn't have any. And like before the cop can even finish that question, the guy's like, it's not mine. Right? It's not mine. I don't know how that got there. It's not mine. You put that there, right? And they're like, dude, like this 4 duffel bags of drugs. Like there's no way we could have just snuck this in front of you without you seeing it. Like, you're sitting right here. Right? You've got the whole thing on video. How did this get here? It's not mine. Okay. And so my point in bringing up this example is the most unsuccessful people in the world do not own their own behavior. Everything is not their fault. Everything is not theirs. It's never their fault. Okay. And it's the reverse for the most successful people. So if you want to be extremely successful, everything has to be your fault, whether it actually is or not. Like if I, right now, like I'm in my 7th floor office. So if I go and I get in the elevator and I click the one button, and as it's going down, the fucking, the rope just snaps and I fall to my death. I don't know if I'd die. Hopefully I'd die because I don't know if I'd want to be alive after that, right? Again, morbid. I don't mean to be this morbid, but the point is that's my fault. Like I'm in heaven looking down. I'm like, God damn it, Spencer. Why did I get in the elevator? Like that's my fault, right? Clearly I did nothing wrong, but it's still my fault. Okay. That's the type of behavior that you have to have. And the reason why you have to have that is because if everything is not your fault, that means you have no control, right? If everything is someone else's fault, well, you cannot control other people. So you cannot control your life then. But if everything is your fault, guess what? You can control your life. Okay. So once you get to that point, which hopefully a lot of you guys is pretty easy, okay, then you now have to analyze and destroy, okay? So the first thing you need to do is become conscious of the bug zappers that you have, okay? You need to think like consciously, like what am I doing with my day? And we're going to get into this in a later video, but you really need to think about it. Like what are the patterns of behavior that I have right now that are going to cause me to fail, okay? And then once you can see them, boom, you need to destroy and or avoid, okay? And you can do that by planning everything. And again, we're going to talk about that in a later video, okay? And so my final quote here, if you guys do not know who Gary Vaynerchuk is, he's a very successful entrepreneur. And he's got a quote, I've actually kind of modified it a little bit here just to apply to us. He says, if you want to be in the 1%, you have to act like it, okay? I know a lot of people that protest. It's unfair that the 1% have all the money. And you know what? To an extent, I agree with them. There's a lot of poor people out there that do not have a lot of money that could use our help. And I totally think that we should be charitable and help those people. However, my mindset's always been like, you know what? Instead of like trying to fight the 1% and take all their money, why don't I just join the 1%, right? Why don't I just be in the 1%? Okay, but in order to do that, guess what? You have to act like it. So that's that, guys. Now listen. Okay, these are the bug zappers you need to avoid for this course, okay? And this is just a short list of them. I'm sure there's more, but this is important, okay? So number 1 is not asking for help. Guys, you signed up for this program to be successful. So it is my job to help you get successful. Now, there's things that you need to do that are not my job. Like you need to watch all these videos. You need to attend the coaching calls. But these are things that you need to do, okay? So you need to ask a question if you need help. Okay, on the coaching calls or in the Facebook group. Okay, that's where you ask questions at, on the coaching calls or in the Facebook group. If you go through this program and you do not ask a question, you're not going to be successful. because there's no way for you to know everything unless you're already doing this business, okay? Now, other than that, we've had a few people sign up and they just want to like refresh themselves, which is great. Awesome. Okay, congrats if you're here. Hopefully this is helping you. But most people here are new to this business. In fact, 95% of people here are new to this business, and a big portion of you guys are even new to real estate or in entrepreneurship in general. And if that's you, that's totally great, and I'm excited to have you here, but you need to understand you cannot be afraid to ask for help, okay? The second thing is this is super obvious, not making the call / doing the work. Like, guys, if you do not make the contacts, you cannot get a deal, okay? It's literally impossible, okay? It's literally impossible. Okay, if you do not do the work, nothing will happen. So as soon as you're done with this training, not this particular video, but the entire training, I want you to get started on actually making the contacts, okay? The next one is, this is the next biggest one, is not following the system. Okay, guys, look, we have developed a system here that we know works. It has worked for myself. It has worked for David. It has worked for tons and tons and tons of other students. It has helped recover millions of dollars worth of surplus funds. I guarantee you that this system will work. I know this shit works. It just works. It just works. Okay? If you go and you do your own thing, it will not work. Okay? It's not going to work. And we have some of you guys sign up, and you guys have good intentions, I get it. But you guys sign up, and you're like, oh, well, this script I could do. Like, no, the script is the way it is for a reason. Just fucking follow the script. Do not make up your own script. Now, in the videos when I talk about the script, I say specifically, yes, you can change this and make it into your own words, but do not change the meaning of the script. Okay, if you change the meaning of the script, it will not work. It's just not going to work. Okay? So do not make up your own shit. Do not make up don't be like, oh, I'm going to do 20 calls today and 0 tomorrow. Like, no, do 10 calls a day. Okay? If you're like, well, I can't, then that's fine. You can miss one day, but it should be every day. You need to get 10 a day. At least. It's only an hour and a half a day. Okay? You can find that. I'm very busy. I can find that. Okay? But do not try to make up your own shit. Okay? You guys are in this program for a reason. Nobody on planet Earth other than me and David knows how to do this well. Okay? There are very, very few people. Very, very few people. Like, I can name, like, on the top of my head, like, one person. Like Rick Rickard, who went through our program. And by the way, watch his case study when you guys get a chance. He probably knows this stuff as well as we do. Okay? That's about it. That's the only person we know on the face of this planet that knows this shit as well as we do. So if you're going to go and make up your own stuff, you're just stupid. Okay? You're stupid. It's not going to work. And then you're going to be like, oh, it doesn't work. No, it doesn't work because you're not fucking doing it the way that we want you to do it. Okay? Again, excuse my language, but this is just annoying for me because David and I spend a lot of time on this stuff for you guys, and you don't even use it. It's like, what's the point? Okay? So just follow the system. Do what it says. Okay? And then if you guys have questions about the system, you guys want to tweak things, that's totally great. Ask us questions if you need help. And feel free to tweak things and put them in your own words. We always encourage that. But do not change the meaning of them. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Okay, the next one is not being persistent. Guys, the chances of you getting a deal on the first call are basically 0. Okay, they're probably like 5%, but it's probably not going to happen. Okay, the chances are against you. Okay, this is not a business where you do it one time and you're successful. You have to do it over and over and over and over again, even when everybody's saying no, you can't get anyone on the phone, you keep getting voicemail, the numbers are dead. Like, it does not matter. You keep doing it over and over and over and over and over again, because even if you make 1,000 calls, and let's say 20 calls takes you an hour, right? Because you get it to a system. If you're going to make 1,000 calls a month, 20 calls makes you an hour. So let's do the math on how long that would take you. 20 calls takes you an hour. You make 1,000 calls divided by 20. Okay, so you'd spend 50 hours a month. Let's say you got one deal out of 50 hours and you made 10 grand, okay? 10 grand divided by 50 hours, that's $200 an hour. If you make 1,000 calls this month, or 1,000 contacts this month, which would be like 5 times as many as we're saying that you're probably going to need to get one deal, and that deal only makes you $10,000, you will get paid $200 a month, or $200 an hour, excuse me. Not a month. $200 an hour, okay? So my point is like, worst case scenario, you're making $200 an hour, okay? So you have to be persistent, guys. There's no other option, okay? There's going to be times when you want to give up. You have to keep going, okay? And that's what's going to separate you guys that are successful with this that are not. It's really that simple. And the other thing that's going to separate you guys are the consistency of it. Are you doing this every day? Okay, the reason why you need to do it every day, there's this book called Mojo. I cannot remember the author's name, but I would read it. It's called Mojo. It's all about momentum. Okay, momentum is super important. Like, you build a momentum with these calls, guys. It's hard to explain, but you get in the groove of it, becomes a habit, and you build a momentum. Okay? You need to do this every single day. Okay, or bare minimum 6 days a week. Okay, 6 days a week. I know Stephanie, who is again one of our successful students, she's closed a $500,000 deal. She's like, I don't call on Sundays because I go to church. And I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Like, go to church, take Sundays off. That's great. Okay, that's fine. Take Sundays off or whatever day you want off, but it better be at least 6 days a week, 7 days if you can do it. Okay. The next thing is panic mode. Like, a lot of you guys, and I don't understand this. I don't get it. This does not make any sense to me. But it's like 15% of you guys will do this. It makes no sense. Okay, and I know our numbers that well because I study. I want to make the best product for you guys, so I study what you guys do and I try to solve that problem for you. Okay. 15% of you guys, this is going to sound funny to most of you guys, 15% of you guys, they sign up for this program and they don't even go through it until 3 weeks in. Like, they will not watch more than 1 or 2 videos of this program until after 3 weeks until they bought it. And then they're in panic mode. They're like, oh shit, I need to figure this out. The refund guarantee, right? And our refund guarantee says you got to make at least 200 contacts. You got to watch every video and you need to attend 2 live coaching calls, which is not a lot to ask for. Okay, 200 contacts, that's 10 a day, 5 days a week. It's less than I just told you to do. Okay, that's an hour a day. 2 live coaching calls, we do 2 a week, so you have 8 within 30 days to go to. And watching the videos, you can get the videos done within 2 days. Okay, so not very hard to do. Okay, but if you wait until the last week of your 30-day guarantee, all of a sudden you're like, oh God, no. And then they make 10 calls, like, it just doesn't work, and then they try to get a refund, and it's like, no. Okay, no, we just ask that you give it an honest attempt. Okay, because here's the thing. If you follow our system and give us an honest attempt, we can pretty much guarantee that you will get a deal. If you don't, you will not. But here's the thing. If you follow our system and you give an honest attempt and you don't get a deal, we're happy to give you your money back. We have no problem with that because you know what? We failed you. Okay? We failed you. That's the point of the guarantee. Okay? We want you guys to be successful. Okay? One deal will pay for this course minimum 10 times. Right? It's $1,000. It'll pay for itself 10 times. That's a small deal. A big deal will pay for itself 50 times. Okay? So do not go into panic mode. Again, most of you guys are like, I'm just going to go through it now. Like, yeah, go through it now. Okay, don't wait. Not even just for the refund thing, but more importantly, because the quicker you guys start with this, the quicker you guys are going to get a deal. Okay, that's the big thing here. That's the ultimate goal, is to get a deal. And then finally, we talked about lack of focus. That's the biggest one. So, all right, guys, that is it on this video. Hopefully this makes sense. Again, do not be a Mothman. Okay, here's the deal. If you guys have watched this video entirely, I want you to go onto the Facebook group, okay? And I want you to go and comment hashtag not a Mothman, okay? Hashtag not a Mothman, okay? If you guys are not on the Facebook group yet, ignore that instruction. The next couple videos I'll be talking about that and giving you guys more instructions on that, okay? And kind of the rules of the Facebook group. But hopefully this helped, guys. Do not be a Mothman. And by the way, if I'm on the Facebook group and I can clearly see you do not watch this video, I'm going to literally call you out and be like, yo, you're a Mothman. And you're going to be like, what are you talking about? And I'm going to be like, I don't know, watch the course. And that's all I'm going to say. All right? And we're all going to laugh at you until you come back. You're like, oh, I guess I was being a Mothman. Okay? So that's it, guys. Thank you guys very much. Have a good one.